Peter, for playing a little extra Simon and Garfunkel for me there. I appreciate that. We're in the studio. This is the City of Santa Clarita Spotlight Show. It happens every third Friday, and we're talking to Laura Jardine, who works with the city's Environmental Services Division. And we were just kind of teasing everybody about the River Rally that's kind of coming up. Just give it a little promo for that. It's happening in September, and it's one of the biggest events that the city puts on. Definitely one of the greenest events. You were telling me almost 2,000 people came out last year. Talk to me about where we're at right now. It's registration time, right?
It is, yep. Registration is open online. The link to that is on greensantaclarita.com, and it's the 19th annual event. Last year was a record number. It was over 1,700 people that registered and showed up.
And what is the River Rally for someone who's just moved to the area or doesn't know about, wants to find out some more information? It's
an event that we hold each year in different areas throughout the city. In part of the Santa Clara River. So what we do is we take a portion of the river or a tributary of the river, which is actually what we're doing this year. It's the Newhall Creek that's connected to the Santa Clara River, and we clean up that portion. So we send the volunteers out, and everybody takes their bag that we give out. We give them a bag and some gloves, and they pick up whatever litter they can find and garbage that they find and get it out of the river and try to get it cleaned up.
I remember I was covering it last year, and there was just so many different groups of people and from all walks of life, and a lot of Boy Scouts and a lot of those types of community organizations that were there. Every year, I would imagine it gets a little bit bigger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very popular for groups, as you mentioned. Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, church groups, just nonprofit organizations, families come out together, school groups. It's great to just see a variety of people come out, all ages, and before last year, our record was 1,400 people, so we jumped quite a bit last year, so we're interested to see what happens this year.
Good deal. And then you were talking about hundreds of thousands of pounds of trash that are collected through these events.
Yes, we're at 377,000 pounds.
So how do you guys gauge that? Is that?
We have Burtec is the hauler that supplies the dumpsters.
Oh, okay.
And so at the end of the event, they take and they haul the waste, and then they give us the weight tickets and let us know how much was disposed this year, and then we just keep accumulating that.
Always nice to have measurable progress so you
Definitely.
can see just kind of how big of an impact this is making. And what are some things that people should know? I know, obviously, actually, let's talk about a little bit about the Environmental Expo that kicks off the event, right? It happens right there at the entrance.
It does.
It did last year. Is it the same this year? Okay. Yeah. So what type of information is going to be there?
What it is we have that open. It's actually open for people to come through after they've done their cleanup in the river, so it's kind of the last thing you do before you leave. And there's several exhibitors in the Environmental Expo that are related to environmental issues such as waste and recycling. There's air quality groups there. There's energy groups there. So, and Friends of the River, a lot of different groups that have an interest in our environment, and they supply information, have giveaway items. We have a craft area for kids to make a craft.
Yeah, I saw I believe last year was some kids painting and working on some things, scenes of the environment and that type of thing.
Yep.
Cool. So it's really an all-ages event that the city's putting on here.
It is, yeah. As long as they're able to walk through the river, then they can be out there.
Yeah, speaking of which, there's some things that people should know as far as what to do, what to wear, and what to expect, right? It's an all-day event, or?
It isn't. It's a 3-hour event in the morning. Okay. So it's 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., and the biggest advice that I can give is to wear sunscreen because it's always warm.
Especially
September 21st.
If you have my kind of complexion.
Right, yeah.
And burn within about 15 minutes of being in the sunlight.
Definitely. Right. So a hat would even be recommended, some sunscreen.
Or a nice sweater for me, maybe a nice light.
It might be a little warm, but...
Well, SPF 70 if you have it.
That's right.
Sure.
Yep. And closed-toed shoes for sure, because you don't want to step on something sharp or
before you pick
come
it up.
Across. Right, exactly. So just protect yourself. Make sure that you're covered on your toes and sunblock.
And obviously carpooling, walking and biking are encouraged to the event.
Of course, always.
So where will this start off if you're not familiar with the area, the entrance to Newhall Creek or that part? Where would that be?
It's at the Newhall Community Center as far as where the booths and everything will be.
Right.
So if you are driving, they have a large parking area there. And then there's also going to be a bike valet. So anyone that does want to ride their bike, we will check that in. We've done that for a few years now. And we have somebody who's watching that, and they'll watch your bike for you. And then you'll check in at the registration and go through. There's a process to go through, and then you'll enter. We have a specific spot to enter into the creek.
And so how big was the area you said for the Newhall Creek?
Oh, it's really large. I don't know in miles, but
Okay.
it goes
It's
probably
a 3-hour hike. Or a 3-hour walk.
I mean,
so-
you could spend 3 hours out there easily. Yeah.
Okay. And as far as the vendors, you said recycling, air quality, pollution prevention, water quality, and open space preservation. Mm-hmm. Now, do you guys work with the open spaces to kind of keep that area clean? Is that part of the environmental services?
It is. I mean, Santa Clarita City Council really focuses on our open space and making sure that we keep those areas open and enjoyable to the community. So
Right.
this is definitely part of that effort.
Cool. And I want to talk a little bit more about what you can find out on greensantaclarita.com and some events coming up with the Environmental Services Division when we get back. This is the City Spotlight Show, and we'll be back after a commercial break with your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.